FORA.tv. The world is thinking.
Well, Broadway's changed in the 25 years since I was last here. I think it's now almost ridiculously expensive. Both our side of the curtain and your side of the curtain, it's over-unionized. It's slowly killing itself. The audience is slowly dying because they're getting older and older. There's only old people who can afford $120 a seat. So Broadway's on the way out unless something happens. And hopefully in these days of economic clarity, which I think we're now beginning to get, we understand that a theatre seat shouldn't cost that it shouldn't take 3 unions to move a set in from a warehouse into a theatre, that actors shouldn't be unionized with rules that disallow them talking to each other about the play. The whole thing has become a little bit ludicrous. Less so in England, because we're always behind you. But it's equally difficult in the West End for straight plays. The audience has been seduced by musicals and easy pleasures on the net. And of course, we've all spent our time buying tickets and seeing a play that wasn't very good. So the problem with theatre is you have to see a lot to find something good. I reckon if it's 1 in 10, you're lucky. But it has to be priced for that. And London is the same. I did a play in the West End 2 years ago in England, and we had great trouble filling. It wasn't a perfect play, but it wasn't a bad evening. We're very fortunate in England. The last play I did was at the National Theatre, which is subsidized, and which works as I wish all theatre did work. It actually is incredibly successful, always full of kids, because on the day, if there's a seat available, you can buy it for £10 if you're a kid, and the kid can afford that. And so we are nurturing the new audience. I think that has to be thought about here. Not so much in the West End, because the National Theatre has such a huge output, and when the RSC is in London, that again, and we are developing some very fine small theatres, as you have off-Broadway here in New York, such as the Almeida and the Donmar. But I think one has to... Theatre should be anarchic. We should be gypsies, vagabonds. We should be stirring up the dust. We should be making people think, and not creating a theatre which is safe, which doesn't take you any further forward, which tends to happen if you have high prices and huge costs. I mean, you can't get a production onto Broadway now for under $3 million. That is ludicrous. Even if you bring your own set, you can't. That is ludicrous. And I hope it will change, and it will certainly make for a far healthier theatre, and finally give the audience a much better time.